current conflict in Yemen may be considered a civil war due to the ethnic, religious, and historical division of the country. Relevant actors in the conflict include the Supreme Political Council, which is the regular government of the Houthi rebels. Their goal is full governmental control of Yemen. Further, Russia and Iran, who are supporting this Houthi-backed government, are also relevant actors in the conflict. The President Leadership Council is the Saudi-backed government. Their goal is to find a permanent and comprehensive political solution to the conflict. They were founded as recently as 2022. They are supported by the Arab Coalition in Yemen. This was founded in 2015 by the military intervention of Saudi Arabia. They are led by Saudi Arabia and joined by a plethora of other Arabic states and supported by the United Kingdom and the USA. Lastly, the Southern Transitional Council was founded in 2007 as a Southern movement. They are largely an independent faction, although they are aligned with the Saudi-backed government at the moment, and their goal is the full independence of southern Yemen in line with pre-1990 borders. In 2011, the pro-democracy uprisings known as the Arab Spring across the Middle East, including Yemen, forced Saleh to transfer power to Vice President Abd Rabbu Mansur Hadi. The National Dialogue Conference was part of a UN agreement package to help reconcile the country's factions and avoid civil war breaking out again. This resulted in the federalization of the country by being split into 6 sections. In September 2014, tensions escalated and resulted in the Houthi faction and former President Saleh combining forces to take over the capital city. By early 2015, current President Hadi escaped to Aden and threatened military operations backed by Saudi Arabia, which resulted in the Houthi-Saleh faction attack. Only a month later, in March 2015, Houthis advanced to try to take over all of Yemen. This triggered the civil war going on today. The Houthi-Saleh faction was being backed by Iran and Hadi was being supported by Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Despite peacekeeping efforts by the UN in December 2015, no consensus could be reached. As President Trump took office in January 2017, he immediately gave orders to perform airstrikes in Yemen, targeting Al-Qaeda. At the same time as these airstrikes, the UN announced that as a result of the civil war, the country was at great risk of famine. In December 2018, peacekeeping efforts were started again as the Stockholm Agreement was signed in an effort to safeguard port cities. Come July 2019, the UAE withdrew most of its forces from the Saudi-led coalition as the coronavirus pandemic in 2020 took over the world. A ceasefire of 2 weeks was announced on April 8th. On the 27th of September, an exchange of prisoners between the Houthis and Hadi government was performed, as agreed to in the Stockholm Agreement. By September, Houthis attacked Aden International Airport as government officials of the Hadi government disembarked the plane. The deadly war is still ongoing recently. In April 2020, the Saudi-led coalition announced a ceasefire to help ongoing peace negotiations during the holy month of Ramadan. As previously mentioned, the reasons behind this ongoing conflict are argued to be the cause of sectarian fault lines, a history of civil war, and most importantly, the motivation of regional and international powers. These world powers have supported the financial military structure behind the Yemeni war and are the reasons the conflict end is not in near sight. Research has shown that 25 countries across the globe have provided Saudi Arabia and the UAE with military equipment between 2015 and 2019 to fight the rebel groups in Yemen. Nations such as the United Kingdom, France, and the United States support the Saudi-led intervention in Yemen primarily through arms sales and technical assistance. The United States leads the list, accounting for nearly 75% of all transactions. Moreover, the US also provided the Saudi and UAE-led coalition with logistics and intelligence support. Consecutive presidential administrations have authorized at least $36 billion in arms sales to the Saudi-UAE coalition, even though US law states that the government is not allowed to sell arms to abusive governments. The current US President Joe Biden has stated that he was planning to end US support for Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen, although the United States calls on all parties to the conflict to immediately cease hostilities and commit to an enduring political solution. He has not kept his word, as his administration's response to the recent uptick in the conflict has been the same as the one of previous administrations, sending additional fighter aircrafts to the UAE. Furthermore, Biden has stated that the administration is considering redesignating the Houthis a foreign terrorist organization, proving his ongoing support for the Saudi coalition and the Yemen war. However, Biden claims that he is committed to help alleviate the suffering of the Yemeni people. In March 2022, the United States announced nearly $585 million in humanitarian assistance for the people of Yemen. While humanitarian assistance will help alleviate urgent needs, it will not address the root cause of the ongoing conflict and economic collapse.